truly empower the modern day entrepreneur. The entrepreneur in the day, 21st century.
So one of the things that I would suggest before I pass the mic is to help individuals to really tap into the power of who they are, understanding that they need all of their experiences to take into their entrepreneurship journey. Also helping them to really understand who they are and really appreciating how they show up in the world, being visible, and everything that Sade talks to us about, and everything that you guys will be learning throughout the course of this weekend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Well, first, I love that I'm a scientist, but I'm really not. But it sounds good. The price just went up. Oh, yes. Okay. Well, first of all, I am Latoyaunderwood. I'm an actual business mechanic. I show entrepreneurs how to level up, excel, increase your cash flow, and how to stand out amongst competition. So that's what I do, 24/7. Now, a few tips for you all. Well, one tip first I want to share with Casey as well is to educate. When you do not educate, you perish. Learn, and keep learning. When you're learning, you're growing. When you stop learning, you're dead. Okay? So, yes.
Hi everyone, my name is Casey Sharperson, and as we already heard, I am a speaker, but my absolute passion is working with people to take their dreams from execution. I loved that Sade was talking about where do you see yourself going? Because I think so often we get stuck in this place of doing everything that everyone expects us to do. So we're expected to go to school, we're expected to go to this job, we're expected to stay for our insurance and for all of those things. But what stands out and what separates each one of us from being one of those regular, normal, average people is the fact that we invest in ourselves, is that we go and we execute our dreams. So that's what I love to help people do. And one of the things that I would encourage entrepreneurs to do especially is to surround yourself with people who will push you to go there. Because I even struggle with this, you know, I have different sets of friends. Like I have business friends, and then I have personal, like let's go out, let's hang out, let's go to concerts type friends. But those people, they don't see the things that I see, right? They don't see that there's potential to do something other than what's right in front of us. So with me surrounding myself with women, I know several of the women who are in here, surrounding myself with entrepreneurs, people who are thinking differently, that's the most important thing. One of the most important things. I'm sure we all have points, right? But that's one of the most important things that has accelerated my growth as a business owner and also thriving in my 9-to-5 as well.
Also, you all, start where you are, you know, no excuses. Use what you have. My last business, I started in 2010 with an income tax check. You know, it may sound ghetto, but that's what I did. It was $2,000, yes. $2,000. It lasted me 8 years. I had 15 employees, but you gotta have perseverance, integrity, you know, keep going. You know, I've learned that in business as an entrepreneur, don't focus on the income, look at the outcome. You know, have a goal, be tunnel vision. You know, yes, it gets hard, negative accounts, I'm very transparent, but have faith in God. I love Jesus and coffee, but I love Jesus and that's what keeps me going. You know, have the faith, motivate yourself, change your circle as well as an entrepreneur. If your cousins or your friends don't have the same mindset as you, it will kill you. Find some friends online that's going to keep you going, like Casey said as well.
So our next question is, hello everyone.
Hey.
Yes, I could, you know, stealth bomber. All right. So ladies, how did y'all get started? You know, because a lot of people think that, you know, they just have to have all this stuff prepared, all these business plans and all these different things like that. So come on, give us a real.
So honestly, for me, I didn't have anything. I didn't have a Facebook page. I didn't have a website. I literally just had an idea, a mission, and a purpose, and I prayed for a period of about 6 months before I actually launched my business, not full time, but as a parallelpreneur, also working my 9-to-5. But I didn't have any of the things that they tell you that you should have a business now, which you should. And it took me a couple of years before I even did that. So I think the goal is And the point is just to start, like she said, start with where you are, with what you have, and take it from there. It all will get better and all of the pieces will fall into place, but you don't necessarily have to have everything perfect before you actually launch.
For me, one business I did, honestly, I started out of my trunk. I was in retail for 8 years, you know, I saw a need, I love fashion, and I just started out of my trunk. I went to salons, you know, just do what you have to do, you know. All the fluff that's online is not real, you know. Don't be ashamed to start from the bottom, you know. So I just started out of my trunk, went around my city in Chicago, you know, got rejected, but I just kept on going, so I just stayed focused with it.
Well, my very first business was selling peanuts. Literally actual peanuts, because my grandfather lived in DC and he used to go to the market and sell things. And so he goes, hey, you can take some of these peanuts back and sell them. So I was 9 in the hair salon hustling peanuts to people. So that was my first business. But over time, I just always found myself, because I didn't get allowance, so I was always saying, well, how can I make some money to get the things that I want to do? So from nannying to selling peanuts to selling all sorts of things. But I realized that all of those little things that I was doing as a child, all the way through high school and college, that prepared me to have the confidence to accomplish some of the goals that I accomplished. And then people would ask me, well, how did you get nominated for this? Or how are you so comfortable speaking to people? And that transitioned and opened a door into speaking. So I started just speaking, and now I'm actually getting into the product space and selling more services and products. But I also provide marketing services. All of those things have just come from education and the people saying, hey, can you do this? You know what? I can. I do. I write blogs. I can write marketing emails. Absolutely. Let's do it. It's the same thing, right? So I just started, and I think it's so key what you were talking about. So many of us don't push through and we don't do things because we don't have everything laid out. But I've just found that you just say yes. So the more you say yes, then the more doors will open. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have a business? What? When did that happen?
Yes. So that segues into my next question. So, you know, as an entrepreneur, we have these different things we have to do, and sometimes it can get really inundated, right? You know, we can get really overwhelmed. So how do y'all get y'all mind focused on the goal? You know, because sometimes we're going to have to not go to that birthday party, and sometimes we're not going to be able to go on that trip.
Right.
You know, so how do you get that focus in and feel okay?
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, you know, entrepreneurship is very much about having a mindset of staying focused on the goal. At the end of the day, you know that your business rests and fails on you. So its successes and everything else rests on your shoulders. So there are going to be some sacrifices that have to be made. There are going to be some decisions that your family will not like. My sister doesn't like that I can't party all the time. My mom doesn't like that I just can't come and sit in her house all the time. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when I'm focused on the goal and I have things that I need to do and to complete, I have to stay focused on that. Otherwise, my business will fail. And I didn't enter into the journey of full-time entrepreneurship for my business to fail. So be okay with knowing that people will not be happy with some of the things that you have to do and some of the sacrifices that you have to make. You are not going to please everybody while you're on this journey, so you have to know that going in, if that is your desire.
When I'm overwhelmed, I don't mind to unplug. The same way your phone is on E, you know, you're looking for a charge, you're so thirsty. That's how I do myself as well. I have to get away, plug into who I am, recharge my battery when I'm overwhelmed. I can't do everything. So it's okay to pull back. Your business and the brand cannot function when you're on E. Like you said, on fumes over there. When you're on fumes, you're no good to no one, and it shows in your business and your brand and your content as well.
I always get overwhelmed when I have committed more to other people than I've committed to myself. That is every single time where I find myself on the struggle bus, as we say. It's because I've said yes to here, I'm volunteering here, I'm serving at my church here, I've joined other committees at work here, so I'm doing this, and this. Meanwhile, I have this idea, this product, this blog that I'm trying to write, this email that I'm trying to get out, and I haven't gotten to it. And that's the thing that fuels me, and that's the thing that fills me up. So I've had to start saying, okay, what's my purpose? What's my mission? What am I trying to do this month? What are my goals for this quarter? And if it doesn't fit into that, then I can say, I love you so much. I'll like the post, I'll buy the product, you know, I'll maybe even donate a ticket, but I can't do everything. So just saying no to the things that aren't aligned with the purpose is how I deal with being overwhelmed and combat that.
I mean, you're just great. You know, you just keep segueing into my next
Segue.
question. You know, I love this, right? Okay. So the next one is, you know, all right, we have to set boundaries for ourselves. We have to realize that we are not the chief everything officer. We have to realize that what? We can't do everything. So when is that point? When did you know that you needed to go and get that team?
Well, back to my last answer was, you cannot do everything, you know. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to barter. You know, so you have friends who are good at marketing or who are good at, you know, registration. Ask for help, you know. They don't mind, and money is not always the key. Folks do not mind helping. The thing is, ask. Open your mouth, you know.
And I think for me, one of the crucial moments happened for me at the beginning of this year, where I was planning my own live event, and after that, I just kept on going. I kept on going. I was continuing to serve clients, and I was continuing to take phone calls and do speaking engagements, and I didn't realize that I ran out of juice in March. And probably about 2 weeks ago, I was just dead on the sofa for the entire week. I could not move. I had no energy. I had nothing. And it's because I did not recognize that my cup was on E, but so much of what we do is on autopilot that we just keep going, not realizing that you really ran out of juice 60 days ago. So it's really about us being in tune with ourselves, knowing, because your body will always give you signs that you're overwhelmed, that you're just tired. Like no matter how much money you need to make or what the number of products you need to sell, you are tired. And you cannot adequately serve someone while you're tired. So really recognizing when those times are for you and staying connected to that and really tapping into who you are.
The most important person on my team is my coach, other than me, obviously, because I'm business, right? But a coach, and having somebody to say, focus here. You don't have to do the live event and the book and the coaching and all of these things at once. So having somebody to say, all right, let's focus and let's get you here so that you can keep moving. And because I'm still a solopreneur, I also have to realize that I'm not a designer. I am absolutely horrid at design. So guess who's not going to sit in front of Photoshop and try to figure that out? Me, because I tried and I wanted to pull out my hair every single time and I can't do it. Who's not a web designer? Me. You know, it's those things where I can get a half job, but I'm going to outsource those things that take away time and take away effort. So I don't have to bring on a full-time team member, but sending it off to somebody who can put together a flyer right quick is so much better than me spending 5 or 6 hours on something that could have been done in 30 minutes.
And don't be afraid to get a virtual, And don't be afraid to get a virtual assistant. If you need to hire somebody to help you out 1 to 2 hours a week, then please do that. It'll save you so much time and energy. My assistant saved my life on so many days. But please, by all means, get you a virtual assistant, somebody that can help you with some of those more menial tasks that you really don't need to be devoting your time to anyway.
Okay, so we're talking about all these different team members, right? In fact, we need a team. And, you know, she just said, you know, the most important person is my coach. So, what is your thoughts on having that coach, having that center? You know, because we could be in business 10, 20, 50 years, and but things are changing. Do you need that coach to take you to the next level? And if you do, I would like to know why you chose that coach.
I always say a coach is someone who has played the game already. They've been on the court already. They know the ups and the downs of the game you're trying to play. So don't be afraid to learn from them. You know, how can you ask someone for help? They haven't been where you're trying to go. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking for a coach, find someone who's in the exact position you want to be years later. You know, I can't ask a stranger, you know, how to grow their business, but they don't have one. You know, learn from those who you want to be like, those who you don't mind switching spots with. You know, that's who your coach ought to be.
Good.
So I have a couple different coaches, and it took me a while to accept the fact that one person wasn't going to be my everything. But I have one coach that really helps me with messaging, and she helps me with my confidence, and she helps me with kind of big picture things because she's done so many things. But I also realized that she's not strong in online and digital marketing. So I have a coach that helps me with online and digital marketing. So those two things together are perfect. And so I didn't start out with multiple coaches, but I also tap into other people who have gifts and strengths in other areas. And we just exchange brain picking. Like, I don't always have to pay them and they don't pay me, right? But we just exchange brain picking and we both get great things out of it, right? Yeah.
And I think also recognizing when you may be the smartest person in your circle.
Yes.
And I know we say I know we say that, oh, don't be the smartest person in your circle until you realize you're the smartest person in your circle. And at that moment you have a decision to make is, oh, am I going to continue to stay here and let these folks pull on me, which is fine. But then I also need an external source. I also need someone that's going to help me rise to the levels that I desire. So once that moment, that epiphany happens, because it's going to hit you out of nowhere, you're going to be like, I think I'm the person that we talk about. And then after that, it's like, okay, now what do I need to do so that I can rise to the next level?
You want to take it there, so you know I have to go there. You know I have to do it. So there comes a time in our businesses when we have to decide that we have to, know when to hold them, we know when to fold them, as we speak. And when did you know that moment? When do you stick with this person or do you let your business go on the go? How do you know to make that decision?
So I think it's understanding that there is a certain level of weight that comes with living a purpose journey. So there's going to be a weight that you need to let go of, and there's going to be a weight that needs to be attached to you because it propels you to your purpose. So really being able to recognize and understanding those two types of weight will really help you to determine, do I need to let this particular group of individuals go, or are these the people that's pushing me to my next level? And only you will be able to know that, because we should be so in tune with the people that's around us that we know. I mean, and we know the people that are bloodsuckers, and we know the people that are attached to us because they need to be, and because we have to have them for our purpose. So again, being so intimately connected to yourself and also understanding the people that are around you. And when that moment comes, don't be afraid to say, I love you, but you cannot go to my next level.
Yes. Oh, girl. To add on to Tamika, there's a time where a person becomes dead weight. When you're traveling, the bigger your bag costs, the bigger your bag is, the more it's going to cost you. It's going to weigh your plane down as well, too. So some folks got to leave behind, as she said, I love you all, we can hang out, but my next level is calling. My next level at a pack light, pack smarter, you know what I'm saying? Because I have to travel far. The further you're going, the more it's going to cost to carry you, it's like up the airplane, you know what I'm saying? The bigger you are, the bigger you weigh in my life, the more costly. And you're going to weigh the plane down. I'm trying to prepare for 2018. I know that's right. Okay.
I totally agree. The thing that I would say about letting people go, it is really difficult to have to separate yourself from someone who you feel like knows you, who was there to support you, and how do they feel when you're not there anymore. So I think it's such a process to know that you are important, your business is important, and the people who are tied to you are important. So if this person is not going to help you get to that point, then there's also a array of people who aren't able to move forward because you're not walking in your purpose. So there has to be a point where you say, okay, let's, instead of talking every day, because I'm working, you know, I'm building this brand, let's do once a week. Can we do once a week? Can we do this like a quarterly thing? Because sometimes you don't want to totally let that person go, but you have to let them know that your priorities have shifted and you still value them, but now just isn't the season for that.
Can I ask that too? Also, and like what's gonna happen with you all is you're gonna be so busy to the point where they're gonna stop even reaching out to you. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, we all have friends like, oh, you're always busy. You're right, I'm busy. You know what I'm saying? So don't be ashamed and don't feel bad and don't make it a hard breakup. Your life is gonna adjust. You know what I'm saying? So they will fall off eventually. So no worries about that.
Well, we want to thank these wonderful panelists. Everybody give them a round of applause. Yes. Thank you so much, ladies.